if what you knew to be true turned out not to be true about your money and finances, when would you want to know? Hopefully yesterday, correct? We're going to continue on talking about things in this book, Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. We're going to go into part 2. Again, this is still kind of covering the human element of understanding some of these things and not just understanding us and maybe why we do some things and why we might want to learn how to do them differently. So he talks about a couple things here. We're starting with Parkinson's law. What is Parkinson's law? Well, we probably all suffer from it. Let's say we've got 3 days to get something done. When do we usually do it? Later on day 2, isn't it? Maybe last day. Something that we get so used to, we have to have, it becomes a necessity. He talks about air conditioning in a car. Prior to having them, right? We didn't have air conditioning in cars. But when the air conditioning started coming out and you added that to your package to get a car, it's like, I'm never having a car without air conditioning. It now becomes a necessity. A luxury now becomes a necessity. The other thing is, when it comes to money, you're making $50,000, $100,000 a year, whatever it is. All of a sudden, you start making an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year. What do we do with that? Spend it, right? We got to just live within our means. We got to keep spending everything we make. See, when you overcome Parkinson's law, you're going to be ahead of your peers just by default. And we do have to overcome that on a daily basis. The big thing here, I think, is the money thing. If you get additional money, that doesn't mean you have to spend it. We should really live on less than we make. That was one of the biggest things I've learned, or best financial things I've learned, is pay yourself first. If I make $1, I don't have $1 to spend, $1.10, $1.05, $1.15 like some people. I have 90 cents or 80 cents because the other difference there is going back to my pool of money. And if that income rises, that's just more coming back to my pool of money. Just a couple things to think about. The other part in the next thing here is called Willie Sutton's Law. Who was Willie Sutton? He was a bank robber, right? They asked him, why do you rob banks? His answer was pretty obvious. That's where the money is, right? So who's the biggest bank robber? Who's the biggest thief? We might know the Internal Revenue Service, isn't it? They come to us because that's where the money is. So we have to overcome that and learn how to reduce our taxes or eliminate them as best we can. When you understand this concept, the idea is to earn an income, pay the tax that you owe, and then get the Internal Revenue Service out of your way. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to earn an income, put some of it into a life insurance policy. Once it's in there, it's going to grow tax-free, come out tax-free, use it tax-free, pass it on to your beneficiaries tax-free when you use it properly. The next step next thing he talks about in the infinite banking concept is the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rule, correct? For those who don't have a pool of money that they can tap into to finance things, where do they have to go? To a lender. Who makes the rules? The lender. They're going to tell you how much you owe, when you owe it, and if you don't, what's going to happen. After they give you this financial exam under a microscope to say, well, this is all we can give you, even though you might want more. They have the gold, so they make the rules. So the idea behind the infinite banking concept is to build a pool of capital. There's nothing wrong with constantly putting money away, and to use that pool of capital to finance things in your life. Then who's in the driver's seat? You are. You determine when and how you're going to make these payments back when you take a loan against your pool of money instead of going to the lender and have them, again, put you under a microscope financially, tell you when, why, and how everything has to be done. And if you don't, all the negative things that are going to happen. The last couple things here is the arrival syndrome. I suffered from that big time, and that's why I think I'm qualified to talk to you about the infinite banking concept. What is the arrival syndrome? I've arrived. I know everything. I knew everything about life insurance because I lived by term, invest the difference for over 30 years. I knew everything. There's nothing else you got to tell me. I stumbled on this concept. No one told me about anything. No one sold me anything. I stumbled on this and I took the time to learn because guess what? I don't know everything. And I never will, and nor ever will you. So when you get that out of your mind, when you get rid of the arrival syndrome, things can change drastically in your life. Whether it's finances or anything else, we get so conditioned to think certain ways or do certain things, when if we just take some time to think a little different, to act a little different, you would be amazed at what can happen in your life. Brian Fleming, Financial Fortress Builders, is my company. We help you build a fortress around your finances so you don't have to worry about losing any more money if you don't want to. We just teach the real secrets of money and how money works so it works better for you. Your money should work harder than you do. I'm a cop who sought the truth. Now I teach financial truth based on what's in this book, Becoming Your Own Banker. And I would love to help you do the same. Have a great day.